better place to be than the Belmont campus. Some college hoops on a Wednesday night. Belmont hosting Western Kentucky. Last stop before the Christmas break for the Bruins, coming in at 8-1. Hilltoppers of Rick Stansbury 5-5. They lost last time out against Troy, 87-81. Kevin Ingram, Greg Sage, good to have you with us for all the action tonight from here at the Curb Center. Belmont off that huge win on Saturday out in LA against UCLA, 74-72. Greg, you got to turn the page now. Get ready for a good Hilltopper group.
Yeah, it's been a rigorous non-conference for the Bruins and nothing to sleep on tonight. It's a stocking stuffer supreme as the Toppers and Bruins were picked to win their respective conferences.
It was a close one last year up in Bowling Green. We saw Belmont come out with a win. In fact, they've won the last 4, but it was tight down the stretch as Western rallied from double figures.
Yeah, an interesting game, Kevin. It was a contrast in styles. Western Kentucky with Dwight Colby and Justin Johnson really dominated the paint, outscoring Belmont 52-20 in the paint. But big shots down the stretch, Dylan Windler, Austin Luke, and then it was Amanze Egakeze's three-pointer with about a minute to go that won it. And you see Nick Hopkins had clutch free throws to seal the deal. Sure
did. Those 4 out of 4 down the stretch. Lamonte Bearden just eligible last time out against Troy. Scored 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Buffalo transfer. Talented dude and a lot to deal with.
Yeah, and 16 in the matchup last year in Bowling Green. Really likes to get to the painted area. Selective from the perimeter. Capable three-point shooter, but really stresses the defense in transition in the half-court, attacking the rim.
For Belmont, Kevin McLean, the senior guard, the leading scorer in Belmont's win against UCLA. Those backdoor plays we'll be watching for years, including the game winner. Step back 3 here, scored 20 points, 6 rebounds with 6 assists. He has shown he can do everything on both ends.
It was a virtuoso performance, arguably his finest hour in a Belmont uniform, Kevin. But he did it on both ends, really denied Jalen Hands, held the UCLA point guard to 5 for 13 shooting. And the three and then the backdoor at the end will be known for years to come. But it's his complete game and his unselfishness that really leads this Belmont attack.
The senior from Jennings, Florida, will be in the starting lineup momentarily. We check in with the third member of our crew down on the sidelines, Katie Myers.
Belmont comes into tonight's game full of steam after defeating a Power 5 team in UCLA on the road this weekend. Western Kentucky, on the other hand, looks to bounce back after falling to Troy on the road. Hilltopper guard Tavion Hollingsworth said the team gave up too many easy baskets, and ultimately, that's what cost them. While Western Kentucky is just 1-3 on the road this season, they look to flip the script here tonight and hand Belmont their first loss on the home court.
Appreciate it, Katie. Almost ready for the opening tip. Tim Gaddis and Brent Smith, Kevin Mathis, tonight's officiating crew. Windler and Bassey get us started. Belmont gets the opening possession. Settle in for what should be a fun matchup. 5 seasons in a row they play. Belmont trying to make it 5 straight wins. Murphy on a drive. Couldn't get it to fall. Bassey clears off the rebound.
Yeah, tough one. Murphy, such a great finisher on that driving lay-in. Saw several of those late against UCLA.
First trip down the floor for Western Kentucky, as we mentioned, off that 6-point loss against Troy back on Sunday. Up top, Savage. Belmont knows him well from his days at Austin Peay. He misses, and Hollander chases down the rebound.
Got to identify Savage. Got to contest and make him actually try to run him off the line. Such a great shooter.
Well, we saw him in that OVC tournament a couple years back when he just went crazy from 3 over Municipal Auditorium. Opening minutes, McLean trying to get it to Muzinski. Save, nicely done by Lamonte Bearden.
Yeah, Western Kentucky active, long.
Savage kind of fired that one up, very much off balance, and it goes to Dylan Windler. End to end, Muzinski. First look one-on-one with Bassey, turns baseline. Both teams empty on their opening trips here. Play just over a minute.
Yeah, both teams like to get up and down.
Inside, Bassey couldn't finish on the slam. Comes Murphy for Belmont. 2 on 3, couldn't locate Windler. Bruins will set it up. This guy here's been really good. Grayson Murphy, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists per game. Those deliveries that we saw to Kevin McLean in that victory against UCLA, including that play at the end, looked like he was under duress. Had him all the way. And a charge called on Windler as Hollingsworth hits the deck. You keep Dylan out of foul trouble if you're Belmont. That's really been about the only issue for him. And Rick Bird's going to call a quick timeout. Well, these teams out of the gates a bit slowly. Belmont 0 for 2, Western Kentucky 0 for 3. Belmont team that got a couple votes in the AP and the coaches poll this week, and they've now received votes in 8 of the last 9 seasons after that 2-point win against UCLA that also earned Kevin McLean OVC Player of the Week honors. Western Kentucky Katie talked about their home loss on Sunday. This is the 8th game of 11 away from home this season. Western Kentucky has traveled more than 8,000 miles this season. Got some more coming up. We're kind of an early time out here to settle things down a little bit for Belmont.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Bird can be that displeased. I mean, you had an easy lay-in for Murphy that dipped in and out, and then Muszynski a jump hook on the baseline. I think it's more defensive assignments, really collapse on Bassey and can't give him such deep post position.
Rick Stansberry, third-year coach for Western Kentucky. Of course, a lot of success during his days at Mississippi State. Bassey gets Muszynski, broken up, taken away. Bruins get a turnover with Kevin McLean. Murphy turns in, trying to complete that bounce feed to Muszynski. Bearden now, after the Belmont giveaway, got the roll to put Western Kentucky on the board first. Just became academically eligible, the redshirt senior from Milwaukee. Wendler and McLean, the two seniors on the right. Two seniors, three redshirt freshmen in the starting lineup for Belmont. Murphy got to the rim but had it blocked. We'll see if it counts though. The outside official, Kevin Mathis, says give Murphy the bucket.
Yeah, it was actually, as you referenced, Kevin, the outside official, the baseline official, Brett Smith, actually had a clean block, but it did look as though it hit the glass first. And again, you see how Grayson Murphy really likes to dart through the lane area, and he's gonna try to get to the rim. He's one who's not hesitating to finish rather than drive the kick.
Yeah, he can just get that shot off so quickly. Belmont a quick sub as Seth Adelsberger checks in for Nick Muszynski at the center spot. Merrick Nelson, he'll drive. Falls off no good. Hollander got the miss. Belmont trying to go to the lead for the first time. Played almost 3 minutes. Screen roll. Hollander. He's kind of struggled shooting the last couple games. But Belmont gets another try here. Shot clock didn't reset. Wendler. Series of fakes. Lost again. Out of play. Talked about Caleb's struggles from behind the three-point line. Go back to that game against UCLA. Season low 1 for 10, only 4 out of 23 from 3 in the last 4 games. He's a whole lot better shooter than that.
Yeah, now 4 for 24 with that miss. You're right. Coach Bird's going to continue to run sets for him, though.
Bassey knocks down a jumper off the baseline. Really skilled player. He's made a couple threes on the season, the 6'11 freshman from Alabama. On the other end, Belmont beat him down, and Wendler got the score.
Yeah, I think that's what the coaching staff was encouraging Dylan. You saw the last possession, he kicked it back to Hollander. Be the senior leader. Go ahead and attack. You're our best player.
Talked to Dylan this morning about those decisions that go into driving versus taking the three as Bearden hits a long 2.
Yeah, Bearden looks like he's really ready to play. 2 early field goals.
Wendler. They look for Adelsberger in the post. It isn't there. Dylan turned away. The fadeaway looked like Nelson got a piece of it. Hilltoppers with a 2-point lead in the ball. Timeout at the next whistle. Bearden trying to find some space, and Murphy staying right with him. Savage, the follow away. In and out. Born to Wendler, had 15 of them in that game at UCLA. Murphy the spin. Too strong. Savage got the miss. Bearden, nice ball handle initially. But now McLean splits defenders, got to the hole.
Yeah, I think that's what Belmont wanted to see. Defense into offense. Test Western Kentucky's transition defense. They struggled with that against Troy on Sunday, and you can see the end-to-end speed from McLean.
6 apiece, 5 minutes deep. Hollingsworth, very talented guy. Wendler got the block that time. Adelsberger wanted to grab it and hit ahead. Now McLean pulls it for 3. Wendler jumped too soon. Nelson pulls away the rebound. Some green flag basketball here. Been due a timeout for a couple minutes now. Bearden with a couple early buckets. Been a bit of a turnover fest in these first few minutes here. 6 combined. 4 by Belmont, 2 for Western Kentucky. Bearden falls. Foul will go against the Bruins. will take us to the break with 14:23 to play. Belmont 6, Western Kentucky 6. Fallon Allensberger back with more from the Curb Center in just a moment.
Welcome back. We are underway here at the Curb Event Center between Belmont and Western Kentucky. After a big win like Belmont's win over UCLA, it's easy to come in and sleep on your next opponent. Bruin head coach Rick Byrd said his team doesn't have time to be cocky. They know Western comes in tonight hungry after their loss to Troy this past weekend. He went on to say that it's important for his team to put the win over UCLA behind them and focus on the present. Kevin?
Yeah, for Rick Byrd's team, got on the plane, came home on Sunday, and turned right back around and get ready for very talented Western Kentucky squad with Lamarty Bearden off to a good start. Point number 5 for redshirt senior, and only his second game of the year. Was 5 of 8 from the foul line, and first appearance back on Sunday against Troy. A couple subs in. They got Tolu Smith and Josh Anderson in the ball game, as Bearden made 1 of 2. And Belmont has Michael Benkert. He's really played well, number 24 in white, junior from Greenwood, Indiana. Shooting from 3 at a 40% clip. Scored 8 points. Hit a couple threes at UCLA. Windler with a fake and drive. McLean from the diagonal pass drills the 3.
Boy, Western Kentucky tried to take a charge on Windler's cross-court pass. It was player control, but referees allowed it to go, and McLean steps into it.
Bruins to the front, 9-7. Savage working over there behind Smith. Hollingsworth got in close, missed from about 13. He averages 16 points per game.
That was a difficult shot, well contested by McLean.
McLean a 2 and a 3. Belmont with a 2-point lead. Turns the corner, leads for Adelsberger for 2. Junior from Peru, Indiana, averaging 4 and 2.
McLean picking right off where he left off Saturday against UCLA. The total all-court game, defense, distribution, and scoring.
You think about the only game this season he hasn't scored in double figures was against Lipscomb here a couple weeks ago, and really the defensive presence made a huge difference in that game, guarding Garrison Matthews. Knock away, it was a strip by Murphy. Benkert almost taken out by his own man. Yeah, Belmont with a 4-point lead.
That was a good job by Benkert to keep his pivot foot as Adelsberger nearly ran him over.
Skip Windler. Benkert wanted to pull the trigger. Down to single figures on the shot clock. Another nice delivery, and Adelsberger will earn free throws. Foul win against Josh Anderson.
Yeah, Western came zone out of the under 16 timeout, Kevin. And Belmont, they can run similar man offense. You're seeing overloading a side of the floor and trying to get 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 angles. And late in the clock, McLean drove the painted area and found Adelsberger on the doorstep.
Adelsberger, 12 minutes in the game Saturday after 11 total in the previous 2 games. 11 out of 17 from the foul line.
He has really worked hard on his free throw shooting off season and into this season, and you're seeing some fruit from that labor.
Yeah, you're kind of seeing a little more of a comfort level. Delano Banton checked in for the Hilltoppers, 1 out of 2. Seth says, thank you, Greg.
Right. Still look good, though. Still follow through. Good follow through.
Banton gives way to Hollingsworth. The top freshman in Conference USA a season ago. Nice putback on the offside from Josh Anderson.
Yeah, even though Hollingsworth missed, difficult to block out on the weak side as it went all the way over the goal.
Bruins up 3, about 8 played. Murphy against Banton. High off the window, not that time. Smith got the miss. Freshman from Mississippi. A long 3. Savage came up short. It's been end to end, but oftentimes not a lot of buckets in this game so far. Belmont leading 12-9. Will shake. McLean, the step back. Too strong. Smith had position for the miss. The Western Kentucky team looks quite a bit different than the one we saw at Diddle Arena last year. That was a nice delivery from Smith to a cutting Anderson. Hilltoppers back within one. Out of bounds. Stays with Belmont after the break. 11-11 opening half. Belmont by a point over Western Kentucky. Wednesday night in Nashville. Back with more in just a moment. Well, first half here in Nashville at the Kirby-Event Center. Belmont 12, Western Kentucky 11. Well, you go back to Saturday. Out in Westwood, Wedgwood versus Westwood, and the Bruins from Nashville came out on top 74-72. Down by double figures in each half. Some signature plays toward the end, including this backdoor delivery. Grayson Murphy to Kevin McLean for the game-winning bucket with 2 seconds. UCLA turned it over after that, and Belmont got to the finish line. Both these teams have had success against high major teams. Belmont with that win over UCLA, Western Kentucky with victories against West Virginia, and they went on the road and beat Arkansas in Fayetteville a couple weeks ago. Talking to some of the Western folks, they said, hey, some of the good mid-majors we played have really been the problem, including the game against Troy back on Sunday.
Yeah, Western goes big out of the timeout in the little 2-3 zone look.
Hollander in the middle of that zone. Kick it out to Benkert. Nick Hopkins, Belmont's sharpshooter, pops out no good. Bassey, whose return, got the miss. Hopkins was one of the stars of last year's win for Belmont up in Bowling Green when he made those 4 free throws at the end to finish it off. The Western rallied from double figures in the second half. A wild layup attempt that falls in for Smith for his first bucket.
Yeah, Hollander gave up the baseline, and that was a really good English by Smith. As again, Western goes 2-3 with Banton at 6'8" up top.
Got some size for sure. In the paint, Hollander floats and hits. That's how you solve that zone. Caleb Hollander had some space to operate just inside the free throw line.
Yeah, that's a nice luxury for Belmont. Hollander at 6'8", can see over the zone, pass each wing, and he does have a nice touch at the free throw line.
An exchange of leads. Belmont ahead by 1, midpoint first half. Bassey called for a travel as he put it on the deck. Tim Gaddis says you want.
You know, it looks like zone at times from Belmont, Kevin, but really it's Hollingsworth and Savage as the three-point shooters. They're the only double-figure three-point shooters for Western Kentucky entering today's play. So you're going to see a lot of help, a lot of playing the drive, and certainly sagging to help out on Bassey.
Hopkins goes out as Grayson Murphy returns, plays the point. Western Kentucky continues to stretch out that zone. Got in the middle with Hollander on the last trip. Bruins leading by a point. Windler found some space for a three, drills it.
Yeah, that was too easy. Miscommunication for Western Kentucky. That kind of opened right up. And Dylan Windler found a soft spot at the top of the key, and he's too good of a shooter not to start knocking him down. Had an atypical game Saturday.
Yeah, he's moving up on the Belmont career scoring list. Baseline, Bassey. Looked to kick it out, got it to Hollingsworth. Shoots a three that missed everything. Windler trying to dig out the rebound. Through a few hands and recovered by Anderson. Opposite side, Smith, no good from three. See if Belmont pushes or sets things up. Hollander, step back.
Oh.
Yes.
Boy, if Belmont starts finding the range from three-point distance, it opens up everything for their offense. That was a confidence builder for Hollander. Maybe the teardrop against the zone got him going.
Yeah, needed that three to go down. Belmont 3 out of 6. Western Kentucky 0 for 5 so far from three. A lefty finish inside. Anderson, been a nice addition off the bench for Western with 6 points. Windler had it blocked by Bassey. Hilltoppers have it down 5. Transition, Anderson missed that time, but clean up, wouldn't go. Banton couldn't get it to fall, and Hollander digs out the miss.
Missed opportunity in transition for the Toppers. 2 point-blank shots.
In the corner, Benkert, we talked about his good shooting, and it continues.
There's a young man playing with confidence, Kevin Ingram. I mean, it was, what, under 10% from three last year, now over 40.
Came in 10 out of 25 and hits his first attempt tonight. Belmont's biggest lead, up by 6. Smith made a couple nice moves and finishes close range.
Yeah, used the off arm to kind of clear some separation. Has some size on Windler and a good right-hand baby hook.
Guy who was player of the year out in Honolulu as a senior, played in Mississippi as a junior. Windler from way out. Couldn't hit. Anderson pulls away the rebound. Sophomore from Baton Rouge. Down low, Smith. Some good bench scoring for Western Kentucky. In fact, a big chunk of their scoring so far. Smith was 6 and Anderson was 6. They're back within 4.
Yeah, Western Kentucky's bench really physical. Banton and Smith both making their presence felt along the baseline.
Benton over to Windler, 3. Yes, Bankert. One Indy guy to another.
Yeah, good confident stroke for Windler. It has been end to end. It looks like the players could get used to maybe just a whistle here to get a blow, but not impacting Windler's stroke right there.
Bassey trying to make that entry feed to Smith, wasn't there. Hollingsworth, poke away. It was knocked away by Muzinski. A pile up the free throw stripe, and the foul will go against Belmont, I believe, Muzinski. And Gaddis says actually it is on Mike Bankert, his first team's 3rd. Take us to the break. Belmont heating up from 3, 5 of 9, leading 26-19 over Western Kentucky. First half action, 6:41 to play.
Welcome back. Belmont leads Western Kentucky 26-19. Bruin guard Michael Bankert is a guy to keep an eye on here tonight. He played a significant factor in Belmont's win over UCLA this weekend. He had 8 points in that game. The game before that, he had a season-high 12 points against Lipscomb. This is a player that consistently comes off the bench and proves he can get the job done. He just sunk a 3 before the break. Kevin?
Yeah, Katie, Michael, 27 minutes against UCLA. That was the 2nd highest total of the season. 8 3-pointers in the last 5 games, including 5 out of 10 over the last 2, and hit his first attempt tonight as Belmont has found the range from long distance and taking a 7-point lead here. Biggest lead has been 8. First appearance for Tate Pearson tonight. Redshirt freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee. On the baseline, a drive. Bearden trying to finish it off. Belmont had that rim protected.
Yeah, really good job Muzinski on the weak side at the rim to deter. It looked like an easy 2.
McLean is returned. Gonna make that feed to Muzinski, does so on the block. 2 pretty big bodies in there. Muzinski trying to finish against Baskey. It's gonna be Western Kentucky's ball.
Yeah, that's one of those good move on the baseline by Muzinski. Difficult, low percentage shot on the reversal. That's one thing you'll grow to really have your balance and have your feet under you to be able to power up.
Stays a 7-point game as we hit 6 minutes in the first half. Josh Anderson with a half dozen points. Try to add 2 more, missed on the finger roll. Pearson got the miss. Under 6 opening half. And they kind of started slow offensively for both sides, even though it was end-to-end. I'm on a stretch here with Windler out of the game. Muzinski, he can make them from out there. Rattles one home from long distance.
Boy, Belmont will take it any way they can find it, and some of that 3-point shooting is infectious. Muzinski now 2 of 3 on the year.
Yeah, I was watching him out here before the game, and really nice looking lefty stroke for the redshirt freshman from Pickerington, Ohio. Gives Belmont its first double-figure lead. A drive along the baseline. This will be team foul number 4 against Belmont, and the 2nd for Mike Bankert.
Yeah, that's a tough 2nd foul for Bankert, Kevin. He's really been an instant impact off the bench on both ends of the floor, and Coach Bird will have a decision with Bankert here with 5:11 first half.
Delano Benton at the foul line. He's a freshman from Toronto. Now 6 out of 10 from the free throw stripe. We'll see Windler return as Bankert goes off. Benton with a couple starts, and both of them against high majors, out in Seattle against Washington, and then in Fayetteville against Arkansas. Season high 8 points against Missouri State, and 7 boards against UCF. We'll step out of the game here as Tavion Hollingsworth is back in for the Hilltoppers. Belmont holding an 8-point lead. 5 to play, first half. McLean trying to slide it over to Muzinski. I think it kind of slipped out of his hand, but he was fortunate and went off a Western player. Belmont will have it with 17 to shoot.
Yeah, Windler had an angle, thought he would go down the lane line and finish with the right, but elected to kick out to the corner to McLean as the possession resets.
Here's Windler, down low, stuck behind, got the score. Double figures for Belmont's number 3.
Well-timed pass by Pearson. Really had to thread the needle. There was not much room there. That was one of those Drew Brees timing patterns over the middle.
Pearson's probably a little taller than Drew is. Lead back to 10 for Belmont. Contested shot by Savage. Up on the window. Muzinski pulls away the rebound. McLean hits the gas, leads to Pearson for 2.
Boy, again, good decision by McLean. Unselfish. Pearson making a little impact here.
Sure has. An assist and a bucket. 8 different Belmont players have scored, and Rick Stansberry calls time. Lead up to a dozen for Belmont.
You're seeing it on the defensive end, Kevin. A little bit of one-on-one from the Hilltoppers, and Belmont protecting the defensive glass.
We'll take the timeout as well. 33-20. A good regional matchup here in Nashville. Belmont leading 33-21 over Western Kentucky after a slow start. The Bruins up to 52% overall on 13 of 25, 6 out of 10 from 3. Western Kentucky 9 of 25 from the field. They have not connected on 5 3-point attempts.
Yeah, Kevin, Rick Byrd liking to play Dylan Windler at the 4 position quite often. We've seen a lot of that throughout the season. And you have that versatility with Bankert and Pearson on the wing.
Pearson's given him a nice lift with an assist and a basket.
First on Muzinski.
33 will pick up Belmont's 5th foul of the half.
Nearly 16 minutes in Western Kentucky, only 1 team foul.
Hollingsworth trying to shake loose. That's a pretty good matchup of number 11s right there. This is a nice matchup of big man. Bassi had it blocked, got it back, stuck it home. 2 guys who know a thing or two about block shots. Charles Bassi coming in with 25 and Muzinski with 24. Bassi gets the better of that one to get the Hilltoppers back within 10. Windler again from deep. Bassi up high to claim it. And man's off to a good start in his college career. 4th among freshmen in the country in rebounds per game at over 9. 5th in blocks. Also the leader in blocks and rebounds in Conference USA so far. 3.5 to go. Belmont leading by 10. Pearson fakes, gets his 2nd bucket.
Boy, if you run the floor, Grayson Murphy will find you, and Tate Pearson's benefiting.
Gotta love the balance for Belmont in this first half. Mentioned earlier, 8 different players have scored already. Lead 12. Drop off by Deere and a foul away from the ball, and they'll get Bassi for his first.
Yeah, every once in a while, Bassi, if he doesn't get the initial catch, maybe uses the off arm to try to get post position. But he does such a great job, Bassi, of getting within the restricted area. That's where he wants to be, within 3 or 4 feet. He and Muzinski, that's a great battle, Kevin. 2 really young, promising post players. Little 1-3-1 here for Western.
We've seen Western use some zone in this first half. Murphy decides to take it himself. Couldn't get it to fall home, and Savage got the rebound and starts things for Western. Pull-up jumper. Hollingsworth came up short. Belmont's fine with him not getting untracked. Guy came in averaging 16 a game.
That was good transition defense off of the Murphy miss. Really had floor balance. Western probably thought they had a run out, but really good balance by the Bruins and forced the jumper.
Windler used a screen, in and out. Pearson freed him up. Windler couldn't make the 3-point attempt. Straight away, Savage. He was way out there for his first 3 points of the night. The redshirt junior from Bowling Green, 38% from 3, and those are his first 3 points. Hilltopper fans in attendance, trying to encourage their team defensively. A lob, and Windler climbs up to hammer it down.
That was such a difficult pass by Murphy. Savage was actually reaching in from the coach's line. What a delivery and what a finish by Windler. Big first half.
Up to a dozen points with that slam. Hollingsworth thought better of the shot. Savage has shown already he can make them from that range. WKU will reset. 100 seconds to halftime here. Deep in the shot clock. Bearden realized it, took a three that was short. Bruins by 11 with a minute and a half.
Really good possession of defense, Belmont.
Windler had the step, alters his shot, bangs it home.
The body control to take the contact from Bassey and finish. Windler from all angles.
Up to 14, the lead is 13 for Belmont. Hollingsworth backs off for a long one that wouldn't go. Windler does a job on the glass as well. 14 and 7 in this first half. Under a minute. Windler with Anderson guarding. Over to Murphy. He started to shoot it with more confidence, not that time. Differential about 8 seconds. Margin is 13. Anderson.
Tough shot.
That was. Murphy jumped a little too soon, and Hilltoppers got the cleanup.
I think that might have been Hollingsworth, the beneficiary.
His first two, and Belmont can work for the last shot. Going to take a double-figure lead to the locker room. And number 10 for Belmont. Murphy to Windler. Murphy, try it from that side. Connects as the first half ends.
Boy, big shot for Murphy because he give up the offensive rebound basket after the tough miss by Anderson. Really sends Belmont to the locker room with a bit of confidence. Made the three ball in the second portion of the first half after a little bit of a cold start. 9
different players have scored for the Bruins in this first half, and Belmont leads by 14, 42-28. We saw the three-point shooting get cranked up 7-14. Take us to the break. First, let's check in with Katie Myers with Tyler Holloway.
Excuse me, you're at 42-28. You lead by 14 points heading into the locker room. How have you been able to contain Western offensively?
Well, they're tough. Bassey, you know, he poses a lot of problems down here. We've just done a really good job gapping them, trying to flood to the basketball as much as we can. And we just got to make him uncomfortable every single possession and just build on that possession by possession.
Well, one of the players that's contributed defensively is Dylan Windler with 7 rebounds, but offensively he leads the team with 14 points. What makes him so good consistently?
Well, he's such a versatile player. We can put him in multiple spots, run different things for him. He's a very versatile defender as well, so he can guard multiple positions. So he's been good for us. We've got to find ways to get him the basketball in better scoring areas here in the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Katie. Tyler Holloway describing Belmont's first half play, 42-28. Belmont at 8-1, with Stansbury's Hilltoppers at 5-5. Back with more from the Curb Center in a moment. A really nice crowd here at the Kirby Event Center in Nashville for Belmont and Western Kentucky. Last game before Christmas for the Bruins. Western will play against St. Mary's on Saturday. 42-28 the count. Belmont with a 3 from Grayson Murphy to take us to the half. Have all your first half stats. Check out some highlights too when we come back. Halftime continues from Nashville. Well, final home game of 2018 for Belmont University, and the Bruins lead Western Kentucky 42-28 at the break, trying to make it 9 wins in 10 games. Look at the first half numbers. Western Kentucky 35%. Only 3 of the first half was from Jared Savage from way downtown. Western a slight edge in rebounds, but Greg Sage, we saw Belmont get things rolling as the half went along. 51% overall and 50% from 3 on 7 of 14.
So not just relying on getting touches in the paint, he's moving up, bouncing, and kicking out. 13 assists on 17 made field goals. Belmont entered 3rd in the country in assists, so that kind of portends good things for Belmont. And then again, keeping Western Kentucky off the free throw line. Such a good team at getting to the basket, getting to the line. Only 4 free throw attempts for Western Kentucky in the first half.
Yeah, they've been one of the leaders in free throw attempts over the last couple seasons. 14-point advantage, second half coming up from Music City. Stay with us. Well, Belmont trying to follow up a signature win at UCLA, hosting Western Kentucky and leading by 14 as the second half begins in just a moment. Kevin Ingram, Greg Sage, Katie Myers, producer Christian Sadler, a whole crew here at the Curb Center. Starting units back out. Belmont team, they got a couple of votes in the AP and the coaches poll this week. Western Kentucky got some votes back earlier in this non-conference schedule. Second half begins with the Hilltoppers on offense and a turnover. Windler got the steal, works against Savage, and Western got it right back as Bassi made a play.
Yeah, tough break for Windler that time. Was just about to elevate and had it poked away.
Down the middle, Bearden turned away, just became eligible and came right out and scored 5 points to start the night. Inside, Bassi creates space with a power dribble, got it over Muszynski. Half dozen for the freshman from Theodore, Alabama, averaging 14 and 9 coming in. Off an 18.9 rebound effort against Troy last time. Saw Western play quite a bit of zone in the first half. That's where they start here. They really limited the fouls. Only 2 personals against the Hilltoppers in the first half. Belmont was called for 5. McLean sees a lane but kicks it back out. Murphy, 3-ball on target.
Boy, again, McLean didn't force anything. It was late in the clock, but he knew he had enough time to drive and kick it out to Murphy, who's playing with such confidence.
Lead at 15. This is Belmont's biggest advantage of the night. Murphy hit that 3 to end the first half and won to start the second half for Belmont. Bassi, a double clutch, will get to the stripe. Look at that 3-point opportunity. Second foul against Muszynski.
Yeah, side ball screen with Savage, and there were a lot of hands in there. A good delivery and a really good catch by Bassi, who's showcased very good hands for a big man.
Bassi's first free throws of the night, 71% on the year. Mentioned his rankings among freshmen in the country, up there in rebounds and blocks, and rattles home the first free throw. Guy who started every game, 8 double-figure games and 4 double-doubles, including a season-high 25 points against UCF and 15 boards in their win over West Virginia. The Myrtle Beach tournament, 2 for 2 for Bassi. Minute and a half played, second half. Good crowd here at the curb. Murphy went airborne and lost it. Transition for the Hilltoppers. Bearden tried to put a little spin on that one. Bassi gets it back, sticks it home. Belmont couldn't secure the defensive rebound. Murphy, can he stay hot? The answer is yes. Point total at 11 for Grayson Murphy, including 2 threes in the opening 3 minutes of this half.
And again, McLean, the senior, the awareness that Grayson Murphy's feeling it from the outside. Go ahead and try to get him some looks.
Hilltoppers move it over to Jared Savage. Foul line jumper. Too strong. Muszynski had position and Bassi over the back for his second personal.
Yeah, no rest for the weary for Muszynski. He'll get a blow here for Adelsberger, but boy, Bassi contests everything on the offensive glass, and you just can't have position. You've got to have a forceful box out of Bassi. He's such a presence on the glass on both ends.
And that's after spending an afternoon dealing with Moses Brown out at UCLA on Saturday.
Muszynski's getting ready to see front courts like us. He's done with the 7-foot skyscrapers that some of these programs are putting on the floor.
Here's McLean. Bassi, goaltend. Give the bucket to Belmont's Kevin McLean. Points 6 and 7 on the night. And a lead climbing to 16. Belmont's biggest.
You saw Bassi again, the ability. I think he's leading Conference USA in shot blocking entering tonight's play, so a good presence down low, but McLean had the angle and the step.
It's a Hilltopper team is top 30 in the country in blocks. Savage slashes, couldn't score. Hollander leaves it for Murphy. This will be a foul whistled against Bearden.
Yeah, outside official Brett Smith had his Bearden cut in front of Murphy and kind of caused him to stagger as he went down the right side of the lane. This is difficult for Western Kentucky because Belmont, they're going to continue to press tempo and really force Western Kentucky to get back on defense.
Trying to get something on the inbounds play, denied by Savage. Murphy tried to stick it up there. You think back to that game last year in Bowling Green. Grayson Murphy made an impact in that one in one of his few appearances before the injury.
Yeah, that was a sneak preview as he played in 4 games last year.
Kick out. McLean thinks better of the 3. To Windler. Alters his shot again. Midair. He scored 16.
Yeah, the body control and the dexterity to be able to finish with the right hand.
Belmont starting to open up some daylight on a 7-0 run. Nelson sends it back out. Hilltoppers reset with 10 to shoot. The post to Bassi. Nelson hooks and misses. Get to the free throw stripe with Adelsberger picking up his second and a half for the Bruins.
Yeah, tough spot for Hollander. He's going to be a help defender and try to help out Adelsberger on Bassi, but he just got caught in no man's land on the weak side, and Nelson actually made a good cut towards the basket and earned a trip to the line.
This is start number 5 tonight from Eric Nelson. It's him 8 of 13 on the season from the foul stripe. That's his first point of the night.
It's been pretty solid defense so far for Belmont in the second half. Very good activity as Nelson's got some interesting kicks there.
He does. Has kind of the lime green trim on the black sneakers. Worked from the foul stripe as he hit twice. Guy made the game-winning bucket at Arkansas. Here are the 2 free throws. Cut Belmont's lead down to 16 with about 16 to go. Michael Benkert in for the first time in the second half. Needing his good 3-point shooting with 1 from behind the arc in the first half. McLean trying to get it back. They go on the floor. The officials award it to Belmont, I should say, as Tim Gaddis points in the Bruins direction.
Yeah, Bassi's slow to get up as they'll go to the under 16 timeout. I think he just maybe got something below the belt there.
Yeah, kind of looks that way. Belmont 52, Western Kentucky 36. 4 minutes played, second half in the Music City.
Welcome back. The second half is underway between Belmont and Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers like to run an up-tempo offense. That's something they've struggled with as of late. And tonight, head coach Rick Stansberry told me that the first half wasn't enough. They like to focus on the first 4 minutes specifically of the second half. They want to come out quick, set the tempo, and that's something they have struggled with here in the second half. Kevin?
Appreciate it, Katie. Coach Rick Stansberry, 3rd year at Western Kentucky. Took him to New York, the NIT semifinals a year ago. Tipped out for Murphy 3. That worked out okay. Seth Adelsberger says, hey, how about an assist on that one?
Yeah, presence of mind by Adelsberger late in the clock. On the money, and Murphy says, I'll take it in any fashion. It could be a conventional pass or a tip out from my backup center.
Well, he is starting to heat up from 3. 6 of 10 over the last 2 games coming in. He's made 4 of them tonight on 5 attempts. Foul here on Belmont. Michael Benkert picks up number 3, the only player on either side in any sort of foul difficulty. 3rd of the half for Belmont.
Yeah, Benkert a little overactive on the double team on the post to Bassi.
Belmont up 19. Bassi had good position down low, and Adelsberger grabs his 3rd foul. You can't really let him get down that far on the pin down and get to the foul line here where he's 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, it's twofold, Kevin. It's post position, but it's also ball pressure on the post entry. The guards, and it's difficult because McLean's worried about Hollingsworth driving or shooting as well. That's why those kind of 2-man game sets with Bassi are so difficult to defend.
Adelsberger off. Muzinski in. He's got 2 fouls. Belmont's been whistled for 9 fouls tonight. 3 players accounting for 8 of them. Bassi for another, showing really nice touch from the free throw stripe. Bassi with 14 points, half dozen rebounds, 4 out of 4 from the stripe.
Yes, this is a 1-3-1 extended here.
17-point lead. Windler turns into the lane, right to the rack.
It's just difficult to do that 1-3-1 extended against a team like Belmont who can space you so well and has 5 players who can shoot and put it on the deck.
Windler's ability to score at different angles, so impressive for a guy who can slash and get to the goal. He can make threes. Goes Anderson. Got it to Bassi on a short pass. Look at that delivery. Nicely done as Bearden got his first bucket of the second half, and Bassi gets an assist.
That was a great pass by Bassi.
Murphy, Wilner on time, pops out. Had an open look, couldn't knock it in. Bearden floats, Bassi had it knocked away. Kevin McLean climbing up to contest the pass.
Numbers for the Bruins.
Bassi slow getting up at the other end, but a turnover. And Bassi all the way down there still and got the slam. Worked out okay for the Hilltoppers. Bassi never crossed midcourt. Caught and scored. Hilltoppers trying to climb back in this game. Kevin McLean, three-point miss. Bearden got the offside rebound. Reset with Savage out front. Here's it right. Anderson, bumped by Wilner. See if this foul's on the floor. It's the second for Dillon tonight. 2 free throws coming up. Said it was in the active shooting, so Anderson, who's 12 of 18, will step up there. Belmont has led by 19, but Hilltoppers trying to get back in it with just under 14 to go. First free throw there for Anderson. Guy who won 3 state championships at Madison Prep down in Baton Rouge. Ruled eligible last January. He's been an effective player for Western Kentucky, including 8 points tonight. 6-0 run for the Hilltoppers. 13-point game. McLean keeps on firing. Muzinski tipped it out of bounds. Toulouse Smith has returned for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, good looks for Belmont. McLean 2 straight misses on clean looks. That's what the 1-3-1 can do. If it's a defensive stop, it's an open shot for Belmont, but it's a defensive stop.
Dump inside. Savage threw it away. See if Belmont can get the break started, but the outlet pass is too long. Hollingsworth floats, got it. Here come the Hilltoppers. Belmont drought of a couple minutes and an 8-0 run for Western Kentucky. Nick Hopkins trying to find Muzinski. Knocked out of play. Nick's only bucket of the night was a 3-pointer. Guy came in averaging 14 and 6. A lot of his damage at close range. Western Kentucky starting to get hands on passes.
Yes, they are. More activity. And again, it's really come from Belmont misses. It's been some scores. Certainly Bassi's been the lead role, and he's getting his rest now. But Belmont's just got to maybe get to the painted area on this possession.
McLean tries to probe. Hopkins tries to end the run for Western, can't do it. Hilltoppers playing with some confidence here. Banton, Savage, bucket. 2 threes for Savage, 1 in each half. A 19-point lead, trimmed down to 8. Belmont calls time. 11-0 run for Western Kentucky. Span of about 2 minutes. Lead 8 for Belmont. Timeout at the Curb Center with about 12 to play. Well, new this season, the Ohio Valley Conference and ESPN agreed to a partnership. It brings you all the OVC action live exclusively on ESPN+. You can watch the Bruins home and away on ESPN+. Visit watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Belmont fans looking a little more concerned after a 19-point lead has melted away to 8. An 11-0 run for Western Kentucky over the span of about 2 minutes. Belmont drought that's reached almost 3 minutes. Able to knock down some good looks. McLean finds himself open. Rebound snatched away by Savage. Hilltoppers try to get closer than 8. Done a lot of this with Charles Bassey on the bench, a little smaller lineup. Sometimes you live and die with a 3, and Belmont in this current stretch not making them. Mid post, Smith goes to work with the left too strong. Windler says, I got this board. Closing in on another double-double that gives him 9 rebounds.
Yeah, Belmont needs a paint touch either via the bounce or inside with Muzinski.
Muzinski tried to tap it home on the pass from Murphy. Got what they wanted but couldn't score. Kick out, Savage, contested shot to get to the stripe. So free throws. The redshirt junior from Bowling Green when we come back with Belmont leading by 8, 11-14, second half in Nashville. Well, 57-49 the count. Belmont will leading by 19. Seeing the Hilltoppers put together an 11-0 run. Here's what's coming up for Belmont. So next to last non-conference game with a trip up to West Lafayette to play Purdue. The next game on the schedule. That'll be a week from Saturday for Rick Bird's team. Played up there before, back in 2002, and then OVC play starts. Western Kentucky, a couple more non-conference games coming up, including St. Mary's on Saturday. But I've been to St. Mary's before. Out there, just east of the Bay Area. Out of the break, Jared Savage shoots the first of 2 free throws. The bad news for Belmont was Michael Banker picked up his 4th foul. A contested jumper by Savage knocks in a pair to make it a 6-point game. Transfer from Austin Peay. Making 2. Caleb Hollider's return for Belmont. Bad pass. Windler got there just in time. McLean, Murphy. Bruins needed that. Grayson Murphy, 5 3-pointers tonight on 6 attempts. Stops a 13-0 run for Western Kentucky. Belmont can start getting some stops here. I mentioned they've done a lot of this work. Charles Bassey out of the game. Here's their leading scorer tonight with 16, and this will be one of the bonus.
Yeah, Muzinski's got to understand. Don't get off balance and reach. Just play ball you man, and keep Banton in front of you as he drove baseline. And 10:31, Western Kentucky already to the line.
Team foul number 7 for the Bruins as Banton makes his 3rd free throw on as many attempts. Out of Redemption Christian Academy up in Toronto, a guy who graduated early. He reclassified into the 2018 class and part of a pretty nice group of first-year players for the Hilltoppers. 7-point advantage for Belmont. We near the midpoint and half number 2. Windler trying to split defenders, lost it. Savage to Banton, the step through, missed. Put up, tipped a couple of times. Smith came back down with it, got the score. Tolu Smith working hard. He scored 8. 5-point game. A lot of WKU fans in the house down from Bowling Green. They're starting to collapse on Windler. Will stay with Belmont with 17 to shoot. Anderson over there defending with Hollider.
Yeah, the length and size of Banton and Smith really kind of triggering this more half-court, 3/4 court, 1-3-1 zone.
Here's Grayson Murphy to the bucket. The cut and the 2.
Good pass by Muzinski out of the corner.
Lead at 7, under 10 to play. Mid-post, Smith going to go to Banton. 10 on the shot clock. Savage not shy about pulling the trigger. No good. Muszynski got enough of the rebound for Belmont to gather it in. Talk about paint touch. Here it is. Muszynski against Smith. The jump hook. Offline. Belmont's really not getting a lot of production in the post tonight. Bruins will get it back with a fresh 30.
Yeah, good patience by Muszynski, and that's a shot that he customarily would make. It just danced off that time, but Belmont activity, that's the one thing out of his zone, difficult with rebounding assignments. He'll sometimes surrender offensive rebounds, and that time Belmont will get a second chance as Belmont will have a deep corner inbounds.
Bassey goes in, Smith checks out. Bassey's rest is done. He returns with 16 points and 7 rebounds. Saw Rick Bird there a moment ago, tying lefty Drizel with 786 wins, 12th all time. Move it to McLean. Kevin hesitates. Murphy trying to stay hot from 3, not that time. Savage pulls the trigger. Hollander, good possession to get the miss. Running the floor, Muszynski. Blocked by Bassey. Play continues. Bruins wanted a little basket interference, didn't happen. Hollingsworth turned away. Couldn't make the fadeaway. Come up on 8 minutes to go. Game that was 19-point advantage, currently at 7. Hollander, a nice reverse finish.
Yeah, Coach Bird, if they're going to have Savage, more of a wing player, defend Hollander, a post player at 6'8" on the block, Coach Bird will try to take advantage of that. And that was decent post defense by Savage, but Hollander made the reversal.
Lead is 9, at 8 to go. Hollingsworth to Banton. Too strong on the 3. Windler and Muszynski were down there, but Bassey got the rebound. McLean picks up the loose ball. Gonna go ahead and attack. Hollander got the rebound well beneath the goal, and Belmont resets. Gonna grow the lead back to double figures. Hollander caught and scored. This will be a foul on the floor on the Hilltoppers. Go to the timeout. Single figure game in Nashville. Belmont leading by 9 with 7:19 to play in the Music City.
Welcome back. Belmont leads Western 64-55. After Western Kentucky cut Belmont's lead to 8 and head coach Rick Bird called a quick timeout, he looked at the guys in the huddle and said, we're forcing things that aren't there. We've got to move the ball and we've got to stop giving up easy baskets. The Hilltoppers are hanging on with 27 points here in the second half. Kevin?
Yeah, Katie, we saw Belmont build a 19-point lead early in the second half. Hilltoppers have been able to trim it to as close as 5. Margin currently 9. Foul on Jared Savage took us to the break. Just over 7 minutes to go. Game number 10 for Belmont, number 11 for Western Kentucky. They look to climb back over 500. And Belmont looks to make it 9 wins and 10 tries. Murphy floats and misses. Hollander got it back. Had it blocked by Anderson. Went ahead and took it up. Anderson now all the way to the hole. Belmont didn't stop the ball. Anderson's to double figures. Grayson Murphy has had a hot hand from 3. Game high 5 3-pointers and 7 attempts tonight. 19 points, a couple rebounds, 3 assists. Dylan Wimmer with 18. 2 players in double figures for Belmont. Wimmer from the foul line. Sweet swish to give him 20 points tonight.
That was a big shot. Good possession of defense by Western Kentucky, forced a 17-footer. Belmont doesn't take many mid-range shots.
A buttery smooth jumper and a steal by McLean. Hollingsworth trying to pass it inside. Kevin, and one. Foul on Hollingsworth. McLean's bucket pushes Belmont's lead back to double figures.
That's what Belmont needed, just a little bit of momentum, a spark on defense to trigger them out into transition where they're so adept.
LVC co-player of the week for his 20-point effort against UCLA, including that game-winning layup with 2 seconds left. Wrapped up the three-point play. Now 14 of 26 on the season from the free throw stripe. His lead is a dozen with 6 minutes to go. Here's Banton. Looks off his man, lays it in. First basket for the freshman from Toronto. Makes again 10-point game. Murphy goes ahead and takes it. He gets those to fall more often than not, but not that time. Scramble, Windler against Bassey. Shot went in. Outside official Kevin Mathis says wipe it off. Bassey crashed into our camera guy down there. Hope everybody's okay. And Bassey got his third foul.
Yeah, but that deterred an easy 2 for Windler, and no free throws as it's the 5th team foul.
Tay Pearson. Some good work off the bench in the first half. Number 20 in white. 4 points. Nice passing. Foul on Anderson, trying to knock it loose from Windler. His second. Team 6th.
So now Belmont will be in the bonus the last 5-14 as well.
Western Kentucky's been in the bonus a long time, Greg. A little over 10 minutes to go.
Yes.
Belmont got its 7th foul. Some foul difficulty for the Bruins. Benker with 4, Muzinski and Adelsberger 3 each. Bassey the only one with 3 for Western. Inside Pearson fakes. Blocked from behind by Savage. Trying to chase after it, but saved in by the Hilltoppers. Hollingsworth from the corner. Hasn't had the range tonight. Only 4 points. That makes him 2 of 11.
That was unselfish by Savage, but I almost thought Savage would take that. Made the correct play in the extra pass, but you mentioned it, Hollingsworth just hasn't had the range.
Came in at 37% from 3 and averaging 16 points a game. Windler into the lane. Bassey up above the rim for the rebound. Banton. That one-hand pass was telegraphed. McLean the interception. Couldn't get the finish. We'll get the free throws. This will be a second foul on Hollingsworth. One thing, Kevin McLean, Grayson Murphy's good at this too. Good job kind of measuring in transition, when they hit the gas, when they hesitate a little and let those defenders do their thing.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, you had 2 trail defenders there. You've got to weave and, as you mentioned, pick your spots.
First free throw attempt on target. Having an outstanding senior season so far. Preseason all-conference in the OVC and makes both free throws. Give Belmont again a lead of a dozen with 4:07 to play. See his subs for Western Kentucky.
Those were 2 big wing denial steals by McLean in the last few sequences.
Experienced Bearden and Hollingsworth. That's a travel as Hollingsworth took a little extra step there at the foul stripe before making the pass. Ahead to the under 4 break. A 71-59 game. Stretch run coming up from the Kirby-Vince Center. The Bruins and the Hilltoppers on a Wednesday in Nashville.
They know that Western's
Well, the under 4 timeout at the 3:56 mark. Belmont led by Dylan Windler with 20. Grayson Murphy with 19, leading Western Kentucky 71-59. Next to last non-conference game for Belmont. We're heading to Purdue a week from Saturday. A little Christmas break coming up after this. There's Dylan Windler. Another double-double to add to his resume. 20 points and 11 rebounds. 9 of 16 overall. Made a couple threes on 6 attempts. Grayson Murphy, career high 19 points. Look at the shooting, Greg, for Grayson. He had only made 3 3-pointers in 7 games. He's made 11 over the last 3, counting tonight.
It's opened things up for Belmont, and certainly tonight in the second half, they've needed that.
Get the ball here. See if the Bruins can close it out.
Yeah, good handling of the trapping portion of the zone, and now Western will settle into the possession, as will Belmont.
Bruins led by 19. Hope our toppers got within 5 in this half. Windler. Hollingsworth got the whistle. Windler's calling for his 3rd foul.
That was a good job on the switch that time. Belmont didn't really get the spacing. They love that 1-4 ball screen at the end of shot clocks. They'll run it a lot with Caleb Hollander. That time, Hollingsworth did a great job of moving his feet, staying straight up, and Windler did kind of extend the off arm, and the charge was called. It's interesting how much this year Windler's battled fouls on the offensive end as opposed to just defensively. Yeah, so a good stop for Western.
Yeah, what a percentage of his fouls have come on that end of the court. Michael Benkert returns as Pearson went off. Bassey, we've seen some good passing out of the big man. That time it was to Josh Anderson. Long way to go here. A 10-point game with about 3 minutes left. See Rick Stansberry directing things. A couple of veteran coaches. It's Stansberry on the left over on Western's bench. And Rick Bird, you see him at the hash mark in the sweater vest.
Yeah, no extended pressure. Western's content to play the defensive possession out.
Murphy fires. Missed his last couple 3-pointer attempts. Under 3 to play. 10-point game. You see Bassey's numbers, a double-double. Anderson. Couple big strides. Got right to the rack. He's been impressive tonight. Here come the Hilltoppers again. Belmont had built the lead back to 12. And a foul outside.
Now a good timeout by Murphy.
Timeout. They were collapsing, and Belmont used the TO. Usually when he gets in trouble like that, just throws a backdoor pass.
Yeah, that is true, but he picked up his dribble in a pretty precarious spot and really didn't have wing support as a passing outlet. So, boy, out of the timeout, Western has gotten what it's wanted. It's gotten 2 defensive stops and 2 scores. And so it's a pretty big possession for Belmont to be strong with the basketball and get a score here as we approach 2 minutes.
Yeah, Greg, we've seen Belmont use some clock these last couple of times down, but bad news if you don't score, Western goes down and scores quickly and trims their lead down.
And they've earned it. I mean, Anderson's made tough twisting. The first one was a gorgeous pass out of the double team by Bassey, but the second one was a good aggressive drive. I think this is where Belmont, again, interesting, Coach Bird's elected to go Adelsberger instead of Musinski down the stretch here. Thought he might even come back with Hollander, but almost have to have Adelsberger for the post defense.
Well, the game clock will be around 20 by the time Belmont is done with this possession. McLean, shot clock at 7. Dump down, Adelsberger. Big bucket for Belmont. 5 for Adelsberger tonight. Assist to McLean, the driving dish.
McLean is so adept at the timing of those to set up where Adelsberger, all he has to do is catch and finish.
Goes Bearden. Some contact. Almost a 3-point opportunity. Bearden will get 2 free throws as Seth Adelsberger commits foul number 4.
Yeah, Bearden does a great job of creating contact.
Richard, senior from Milwaukee, Buffalo transfer, 7 points tonight. Only his second appearance of the season, scored 12. His first time out against Troy back on Sunday. Well, Buffalo get to a couple NCAA tournaments. West Kentucky hoping he could do the same in Bowling Green. Full court pressure. Belmont will often pass it out of bounds and then inbounds. So right there. Everybody retreats, and Murphy sends it into the front court to Bankert. Murphy now dishes off to Adelsberger for another key field goal by Seth. Under 90 seconds, 10-point advantage. Bearden turned away. And a 1-and-1 coming up. Maybe 2 shots if that's foul number 10. Murphy indeed picks up personal number 10 for the Bruins in this half. So 2 shots coming up for Lamonte Bearden. Not what you want if you're Belmont, with Western Kentucky a chance to cut into the lead. The clock stopped, 1:18 to go. It is now 4 out of 5 from the stripe tonight. 3 players in double figures for the Hilltoppers. Bassey 16, 14 for Anderson, Bearden with 10. Belmont has Windler with 20, Murphy 19, McLean 12. Lead 8. Down court, connection made with Windler. And Savage with the reach to get Murphy to the free throw stripe for 1-and-1. Foul number 8 for Western Kentucky. 1-and-1 for Grayson Murphy, 10 of 17 from the foul line. Mentioned earlier, career high 19 points. It's hit 5 threes tonight. Big miss at 1-and-1. Hollingsworth, scramble picked up by Windler. Belmont content to pull it out. The minute to go.
That was a big possession.
A big turnover. A closely guarded 5-second call will give it back to Western Kentucky. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, McLean didn't put it on the deck, and that was the correct call. Boy, you never see that call.
That's got to be the first time this season. He got his signals 5. Western Kentucky hoping they can make the most of it. The 3 bouncing good. That was Banton. Western Kentucky not finished yet. Trims Belmont's lead down to 5. This match is as close as they have been in the second half. Rick Stansberry calls time with 40 seconds left. Well, the first 3 for Banton tonight. He'd only made 2 on 12 attempts entering tonight's game. Well, talk about those big free throw misses. That one by Grayson Murphy on the 1 and bonus that left the door open for Western Kentucky. Go down and turn it into a 3. They're trying to bounce back from a home loss against Troy. They were down by 17 in the second half of that game and clawed back to get it close. A lot of road games for this Western group. Mentioned 8 out of 11 away from home. They racked up some miles so far in this 18-19 season. Western here in Nashville tonight. They'll be back home to play St. Mary's next. Belmont's next game will be after a Christmas break. They'll play a week from Saturday at Purdue to wrap up non-conference play. Belmont 4th in the latest mid-major poll, behind Gonzaga, Buffalo, and Furman. I don't know if you call the Zags a mid-major program or not. Well, another inbound situation for Belmont. Murphy takes it back from Muzinski. They chase him to try to foul. Hollingsworth does that to get Grayson back to the foul line and see if he has better luck on the 1-and-1. Greg, the good news for Belmont has been able to at least use some time with the clock down to 35 seconds. It's a big free throw, and Murphy connects to get that bonus shot. chance to make it a 3-possession game. Redshirt freshman, Thompson Station, Tennessee. Made 1 of 2. Anderson attacks, dumped down. Banton got the roll. Make it 76-72. The clock continued to run. Probably have to go back and put some more time on. They haven't put the points up yet for Western Kentucky either. It should be 76-72.
It will be 2 shots from Muszynski, double bonus.
Team foul number 10. Third for Savage. Officials take a look, trying to put the correct amount of time on the clock. Tonight's crew, Tim Gaddis and Brent Smith and Kevin Mathis. Rick Stansberry calling his group over for a little huddle up. They're doing the same. I think it's probably going to be in the 25 range, if I had to guess. 25
yeah, I'd
to
say
26.
20, well, maybe 24 and change. They'll go back and look when the ball went through the net, but it was definitely around 2 seconds. You know, Grayson Murphy, your point guard, that's who you want to have the basketball, but in these situations for Belmont, especially now double bonus, you know, I'm fine if Dylan Windler wants the basketball, Kevin. Your senior as opposed to freshman Murphy, senior leader.
Windler is 74% free throw shooter. Murphy coming in 10 of 17, so he's now 11 out of 20. Nick Muszynski, his only points of the night have been on a 3. So take a look at the 33rd-year head coach, Rick Byrd.
.3.
All right. The man they call Moose at the foul stripe for 2. He has been really solid shooting free throws, 16 of 19, including that one. Belmont trying to finish the job, make it 9 wins in the first 10 of this season. Muszynski took a big step in that direction. Anderson with one hand falling away, knocks it in. Western Kentucky uses the timeout with 18.2 and a 4-point margin.
That's one of those where Belmont, you never want to surrender a field goal, but Anderson, he's predominantly a driver, Kevin, so it keeps it a 2-possession game.
Anderson closed again on his career high. They gave him 16, his best is 19. That is his season high. He had 15 against Tennessee State. His 5th double-figure game of the year. Hilltoppers with 4 in double figures. Belmont with 3, including Murphy and Windler with 20 apiece. Anderson and Bassey, 16 each to lead Western Kentucky. Double-double for Bassey with 16 and 10, and double for Dylan Windler, 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Yeah, again, strong with the basketball. You can run the baseline, and double bonus for Belmont. So I think just look for Windler.
Muszynski, and a turnover through the hands of McLean. Hollingsworth got a clean look, couldn't make it. Muszynski trying to dig it out. But for the tie-up, it belongs to Belmont.
And they called a foul.
With 7.1.
Muszynski tried to do the right thing and hit McLean going up court after he had it, but I think the way Belmont was, Nick, just keep the ball high and wait to get fouled. And boy, did Hollingsworth get a great look, Kevin. He just kind of pulled the string a little bit.
Yep.
And you see on the replay, boy, a lot of ball that time for Banton. Difficult call for Western Kentucky on a reach-in. There was a lot of ball there.
So Muszynski back up there with 7 seconds. Saw him make 2 a moment ago. Redshirt freshman getting the job done at the free throw line. Four big makes by Muszynski. You think about last year's game, and Nick Hopkins made those 4 down the stretch. Moose does the job here.
Yes, Nick, one year to another. You don't think of a 6'11" center as your free throw closer, but Belmont may have one in Muszynski. Plus, he's got such great hands and presence.
Pressure from Belmont. Intercepted. That should do it. Belmont saw a 19-point lead, cut down to single figures, but the Bruins make it 9 wins in 10 tries with an 80-74 victory over Western Kentucky. Nick Stansbury's Hilltoppers are 5-6.
Yeah, again, I think Western Kentucky got a lot of their out of their 1-3-1. Bassie on the bench, and honestly, Kevin, the run started with Belmont missing 5 straight three-pointers. It kind of gave Western Kentucky some extra possessions. Anderson was excellent, really triggered that run, but Western just couldn't make enough three-pointers to narrow the gap. Usually when you dig that big of a hole, you need some 3 balls, and outside of Savage, really, Western didn't have it except for the one that Banton rimmed in.
Hilltoppers only 3 out of 15 from 3 on the night, 44% overall. Belmont went 11 of 25 from 3 and 47% on the night. So 80-74 the final. Bruins play again at Purdue a week from Saturday. Western Kentucky will be home for St. Mary's this weekend. Great crowd here at the Curb Center.
Yeah, holiday hoops, and everyone was treated to a great game of, as we alluded to off the top, Kevin, 2 teams that are picked to win their respective leagues. Belmont picked to win the OVC, and Western Kentucky will be right there in Conference USA. But Belmont, that's more seasoning. What a great non-conference schedule each Belmont and Western Kentucky are playing. They're really testing themselves going into their respective conferences, and that's a great game that Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky were treated to tonight. As looks as though maybe Katie's trying to chase down Coach Burden, our player of the game.
Katie Myers will visit with Grayson Murphy and Coach Bird here in just a moment. And Katie is standing by with the Belmont head coach.
Coach, you come into tonight's game after a big win over UCLA, and for some teams that may be a distraction, but there's no question where the focus was tonight. How is your team able to come in and day out and just get better?
I mean, it's what you strive to do anytime, and you have to talk about those things when you get a big win. And for a young team, I wasn't sure how we'd react. I got to give a lot of credit to Western Kentucky. They changed things up and made it very hard on us offensively tonight.
Well, you mentioned the young team that you have, and one of those young players is Grayson Murphy.
Yeah.
He put up a career-high 20 points. What did you see in him tonight?
I saw him make shots. He's just had to gain some confidence. He started the year not making them, not getting close sometimes, and now he's got a lot of confidence, and if he can do that, makes us a lot better.
All right, Coach, thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Grayson, congratulations on the win. You had a career-high 20 points tonight. How were you able to elevate your game?
Just mainly shooting threes. I think I started out last year and this year 0 for 12. Me and Coach Holloway have been in the gym as much as possible, putting up as much reps as possible. I mean, and then now I feel comfortable shooting, so it helps me out with the driving and then open up the floor with threes.
This is your last non-conference home game before you head to Purdue. How does that give you an edge this weekend?
That was big. This is a big game for us. WKU is a great team. I had good wins over Arkansas and multiple teams. I mean, going into Purdue is going to be a tough another game, but we just got to stay focused and get some rest while we can.
Well, Grayson, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Appreciate it, Katie. Katie Myers visiting with Grayson Murphy, career high 20 points. Rick Bird's team wins at 80-74. A few of the highlights from the night. Boy, Anderson really gave him a nice lift off the bench as he put up 16 this evening.
Yeah, I thought really Rick Stansbury got a lot off of his bench when you talk about Anderson. Tolu Smith was great with 8, and then certainly Banton made the 3 late, but he also had double figures with 11. So some encouraging things off the bench for the Hilltoppers. Maybe just we're not seeing the typical Tavion Hollingsworth. That'll certainly come in games to come.
Murphy and Wendler 20 each. McLean with 12 for Belmont. For Greg Sage, Katie Myers, Kevin Ingram saying so long from Nashville. Final again, Belmont 80, Western Kentucky 74. Want to watch this home game on replay and others on our family of ESPN networks? Log on to watchespn.com or download the app. It's been a presentation of Belmont Athletics, the Ohio Valley Conference, and ESPN.